What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm reviewing the Realtoy Delta Airlines 767 Airport Playset in the Retro Delta Landor livery. So for this video, I have both the playset and the single plane version of this model. So I won't actually be unboxing the single plane, I'll just be reviewing the playset. But I recently got the single plane off of eBay, actually for a really great price of $25. It was for a listing of, I think there were 3 of these models of the new condition single plane models included in the listing for $25 each. Recently, this model has actually been listed on eBay quite often, and the new condition version of this model. So if you have wanted to get one of these models, a single plane version, definitely be sure to look on eBay. That is only as of right now when this video is posted, but that definitely will change in the future. But recently, I've been seeing quite a few listings of that model on eBay. So this video is going to be another one of my video remakes where I remake some of my older videos to give a more in-depth review of the model. So the Delta Airlines 767 Airport Playset in the Landor livery is definitely a model that I've always wanted to discuss a lot more on my channel after pretty much finding out a lot more information and details about it. So I got this playset originally off of eBay when I had started collecting in 2020. So this was a model that was distributed as both a normal playset and a single plane in, I would say, the late 90s, sometime between 1997 and 2000. So the Delta Airlines, their Landor livery was first introduced in 1997 by their former CEO, Ron Allen. It was first painted on their planes, I think, in August of 1997 when it was originally introduced, and probably when this model was produced as well. It was produced only by Realtoy, probably between, like I said, between 1997 and 2000. So the Landor livery was pretty much supposed to be a more updated livery between their original retro livery design and then in their transition into the newer wavy gray livery that was introduced several years later. So the Landor livery was applied to a wide variety of Delta's fleet at the time, like the 727s, the 737s, 757s, 767s, MD-11s, MD-80s, and the MD-90s. And it was actually the first livery that was worn by the then new at the time, the 737-800s and the 777s, as well as the 767-400s when those were first introduced into the Delta Airlines fleet. And I believe that was probably around 1989, 1998, I got those numbers mixed up. But yeah, so overall, the history behind this livery is pretty interesting. It was not worn by the entire Delta Airlines fleet, and has overall kind of become more of a forgotten Delta Airlines livery. But so as for the Realtoy model of this livery, this was the first ever Delta Airlines model that was produced by Realtoy, and I also believe it was one of the first few 767s that were ever produced by Realtoy as well. You can definitely tell it is an older model based off of the cockpit windows, as I'll show later in the review, and the texture that is on the wings. You can definitely tell a 90s Realtoy if you can't notice from the cockpit windows, if the wings have sort of a matte finish to it rather than just a smooth gloss finish, then you can definitely tell it is an older model. That also goes for the 747s as well. So this is also a model that is definitely one of my most favorite classic Realtoy models, and is one that I've always wanted to discuss a lot more on my channel. I have made a video on this a couple months ago. I had made a video on this, the top 10 most underrated Daron Realtoy models, and I included this one in that video because I certainly think this should be a model that deserves to be a lot more well known by collectors, because it is such a nice model with great history behind it, and is also a really big part of the Realtoy fleet for Delta, because now the Delta Airlines models is one of the most mass-produced model by Realtoy and distributed by Daron, and is also one of the most produced fleet models. I believe there are around at least 10 different Delta Airlines models that were produced by Realtoy over the years since this model was the first one that was introduced over 20 years ago now, almost 25 years ago. But yeah, so this model is definitely a very big part of Realtoy's history for the Delta Airlines models, and I definitely think it should be a much more well-known model. which is also why I am going to do a video remake on it, and why I had gotten a single plane version of this model, because I never had one. I never had a single plane version of it or the box, so I won't be unboxing this because I already have the model as the playset opened up, so I don't really need to open up the single plane. There's really no need to. I mean, you can kind of see, you can already see the plane right there in the box. The only thing I definitely know that will slightly annoy me is that the sticker is already kind of peeling off in there, but that's just because of the age. All of the Realtoy models that are old are always going to be like that with the sticker peeling off. So, but yeah, that pretty much is all for the information of this model. So overall, if you haven't, I usually mention this at the end of the video, but if you have not gotten this playset or this model yet, I highly suggest it, because definitely as the years progress, this model will become a lot more rare. More rare than it is now. This model isn't necessarily extremely rare, but it can be difficult to get. Right now, it's been relatively popular for, like I said in the beginning of this video, it's been relatively popular to get the single plane recently for the past couple weeks, but that definitely will change anytime. Now it will become a lot more difficult to get, and as the years go on, this model will definitely become a lot more rare. So definitely, if you see it and if you want it, definitely get it while you have the chance. Usually they aren't listed for really high prices, and usually also I see a lot of new condition playsets listed quite often as well. So if you have not gotten it, I definitely highly suggest getting it once you see one on eBay whenever they are listed. But so that pretty much is all the information for this model. So starting off here for the review, start off with the front part of the box. So up at the top, you have the Delta Airlines logo in their original Delta logo there, with the this one has the darker red coloring on it and the dark navy blue. I believe this is probably one of the original price tag sticker that was on it. It probably was an orange circle with probably had the price written inside of it. I still do have the original screenshot I have from when I purchased this playset originally. I'm really glad that I have screenshots of the original listings of these models, because over time it's become to be a lot of pictures, but I am glad that I have those pictures of the original listings from when I got this model, especially since it was one of the first ones I had gotten when I first started officially collecting the Realtoy models. So, airport playset displayed there beside the Delta Airlines logo there. This is also another interesting thing about this livery, is that it was the last, I don't know, I think it was also one of the only liveries that actually had Airlines in the title of it, as well as you can see on the plane as well. Usually they only have Delta written on it, and then Airlines is just kind of part of the name, but it's never actually featured in the full title of the airline. So I thought that was also pretty cool, in how it is a lighter blue coloring than the Delta. Delta is kind of emphasized there, and then Airlines is just kind of a lighter color in the background. And then the top portion of this playset, and you also have the Delta logos on the top as well. The top portion of this playset is white, and then the whole entire rest of it is the dark navy blue. On the bottom is the Realtoy logo with the die-cast metal, new livery designs, and plastic parts. Have the warning label displayed there, with the full clear plastic covering to display the model signs and the vehicles. Side, you also have the Delta Airlines logo there, with the coloring is also the same coloring that the Airlines portion of the title is displayed in, like on the front of the box. Here you can see the light blue coloring there, and then the side of the box is in, each side is in the light blue coloring. The back of the box is definitely the best part of this playset, the box art image for this model. So I definitely think this is a 767-400. Judging from the way the wings are, the fuselage is designed, I'm pretty sure this is a 767-400 is what it looks like. Definitely would have been cool to introduce this model as the 400, because since it was the first time Delta had added it to their fleet, and they used this livery on that particular aircraft. Delta Airlines logo displayed up at the top with the Delta logo there. I really like how they outlined it in white, so you can kind of see it, and it definitely stands out a lot more. Airport playset, die-cast metal, new livery designs, and plastic parts. With the Realtoy logo down at the bottom, all the trademark stuff for Delta Airlines. So then the overall design for the single plane version of this model pretty much looks exactly the same as the playset version, except one of the main differences is kind of the blue coloring here. The blue on this box kind of reminds me of what it is on the Delta Wavy Gray model, with the sort of lighter navy blue. This is more of a royal blue, I guess is what you can say. This one has the Delta Airlines logo displayed at the top, just like the airport playset. The blue here, like I just said, is sort of more of a lighter royal blue, I guess is what you could say, on the Delta Airlines logo, still with the lighter blue for the airlines portion of the logo. Same thing up at the top as well with the warning label. And then the inside of this box has the original and some of the classic single plane models when Realtoy used to include the world map pictures on the inside cardboard boxes. I believe some other certain models have different parts of the world. I think it's just kind of displayed there. But yeah, so another model I have that has the inside cardboard piece in the world map, I know is the US Airways 757 in the black livery. That is another one of the older classic Realtoy models. I really miss when Realtoy used to do those. I really liked it a lot better when Realtoy used to include a lot more design into the cardboard pieces. It definitely tied the entire single plane together as well, but also is another great way to tell if a Realtoy model is a classic or not, because those were something that was only used, I believe it was in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, that Realtoy used to use, include those in some of the single planes. The bottom has the Realtoy logo, diecast metal, new livery designs, and plastic parts. This the side of the box has the Delta Airlines logo again, with the lighter blue that is included on the airlines portion of the logo at the front of the box. Both sides have that displayed there. And then the back of the box has the same exact boxer image that is included on the playset. Kind of see for reference there. Has the same exact boxer image. And then this one has the Delta Airlines logo with the lighter royal blue coloring there. Diecast metal, new livery designs, and plastic parts. The boxer image on this one is definitely a lot smaller than it is in some of the other boxes. Kind of is zoomed in a little bit. And then the Delta trademark stuff down at beneath the boxer image picture there, and then the Realtoy logo down at the bottom, QR code. And yeah, pretty much is all for the review of each of the boxes for these models. So, like usual, I'll pause the video and take out the playset. So here is the Delta Airlines Landor Livery 767 Airport Playset. So like usual, I didn't take out the signs because they are pretty much the same exact ones that come in most of the older playsets. So starting off here with the review of the model. So starting off with the front of the plane, there are the original 767 cockpit windows. Yes, I know these do not look realistic. And also, the plane definitely has the really pointy nose cone right there. You can see. This was something that was with all of the older 767 models, so this one is really nothing different, but it definitely is another great way of depicting if this model is one of the original 767s or not. I would just consider any original 767 to be anything probably made before 2000. Since the first Realtoy models were introduced in 1993, the first Realtoy models with the Realtoy logo on the undercarriage there were introduced in 1993. Anything in the 90s I'd consider one of the first classic Realtoy models. So up the front there are the original Realtoy 767 cockpit windows with the really pointy, and I guess you could say this is more of a sharp nose cone. Definitely a lot more than there is on the other 767 models. Then at the start of the pretty much right underneath the cockpit windows is where the red portion of the Delta Landor livery starts, and then the dark blue stripe that goes throughout the entire portion of the plane. Then there is the Delta Airlines logo right there on the side. A Delta logo, Delta, and then the airlines in the lighter blue coloring. Like I said before, this is one of the only liveries that Delta had ever used that actually had their full title in the painted on the aircraft. Usually they only have the logo, and then Delta displayed beside of it. Usually they don't have airlines included on it, and usually also the logo is also a lot bigger. But this one, they made the logo a little bit smaller with airlines in the title. Definitely was one of their only liveries that had that kind of included in the design. The engines are really nicely. The engines are fully painted all the way around. They don't just have the logo on it or anything. The engines are really nicely painted to be fully wrapped around the entire engine casing. The bottom portion is kind of in the white, and then has the red stripe that separates it between the dark blue and then the white portion there. The bottom of it is pretty much just all white, and then the top of it you can see has that stripe pattern there. And also, I think Realtoy did a really great job with painting these engines as well, because they also included that same exact design on the other side, which I definitely know that probably would be a little bit difficult to paint when they were first producing this model, but they definitely did a really good job with designing the engines, the paint on the engines of this model. And overall, the stickers are also really nicely placed. Yeah, on the single plane, the one at the front was kind of peeling off, but that kind of is like most old Realtoy models. Over time, the adhesive is going to wear off. So that isn't like really, that has nothing to do with a defect on the particular model. It's just what happens whenever the models get old, or other things as well. But overall, the stickers are really nicely placed on this model. You can see the cabin windows that are displayed they don't have any outlines in them. They're just pretty much all blank and white. They're also placed a little bit further down on the fuselage than what they usually are. Usually they are centered in the fuselage. These ones are pushed a little bit further down. Then there is a registration number here, which is N, I believe that is N1900, or is that N190DN? I don't even know if I ever looked at that before. That is pretty much hard to see. I think that it is N190DN is what that appears to be. I'm not sure if that is a real registration number. It definitely seems like it is. And then on the back, there is, with the American flag as also beside the registration number. And then on the back, there is the Delta Landor livery, the tail design with the blue, and then the red stripe at the top with the Delta logo displayed in the bottom there. And then that is also a sticker. And yeah, overall, the Delta Landor livery 767 is such a really great model, and pretty much this is what I would consider to be the definition of a retro Realtoy model. I mean, just because of the livery design, the livery design is just I think this is the last livery that Delta used that was more of their retro paint scheme on it, that had the dark navy blue and then the red on it with the stripe on it. Because once they introduced the wavy gray, that was their last livery before they introduced their livery that they have now. I forgot what the name of it is. But Delta has had the livery that they still wear today. They've had that livery since 2005. So it's been painted on their planes for quite a long time. I definitely think they should upgrade it, but I did see Delta recently released that they will be painting some retro paint schemes on some of their A321s, so I definitely think that is a really good idea. Unfortunately, I don't know, I did not see the Landor livery included in the original post about it, so I don't know if Delta will be painting the Landor livery on it, but I really hope they do, because it's such a really, even though it was only used for a short period of time, it is such a great livery and a big part of Delta's livery history. So, but yeah, that overall is for the entire review of the model. The undercarriage is in the matte finish, kind of silver coloring there, the same coloring that the wings and the tail wings are. The Realtoy logo displayed on the main landing gear there. Like I said also in the beginning of this video, this model has kind of more of what I consider a matte finish on the wings rather than like the shiny gloss finish. If any of you have this model, you can probably know what I'm talking about between the texture of the wings. Kind of have that older 90s texture to the plane that's included on some of the other older models as well. But yeah, so overall, pretty much all the review for the model. So moving on to the first vehicle, this is the Delta Taxi. One of the vehicles that was included in some of the older Delta airport playsets. One of the common models in both the Landor livery playset and the wavy gray. So this one, pretty much the entire car is all white, and then you have the Delta logo. Logos painted in pretty much the three main spots of the car. There's nothing on the hood, but there's Delta Airlines. The logo with the item number for this one is 17. And painted, and it kind of looks, I think it's supposed to be red. It kind of looks like it's faded, but it definitely looks to be more orange than red, but I believe it is supposed to be red. But definitely looks a lot more orange than red. Delta Airlines logo on the doors, and then on the top of it. Yeah, overall, relatively simple car. This is the same taxi mold that is used in a lot of the older playsets as well. I think as some of the newer playsets as well. So most of the other vehicles, apart from the catering truck in the back, pretty much have the same design pattern with the Delta Airlines logos display. This one the bus has it on each side as well, and then the top, same number there, 17. I guess the color is supposed to be orange. On the top of it, it kind of looks a little bit more faded, so that's why I kind of thought it was red, but I guess the 17 is supposed to be orange. This one has, when they first started including some of the original details on the bottom, the 24-hour service. They also, on some of the newer releases of the bus, have some more details displayed throughout the bus, but this one only has the 24-hour service displayed on the bottom. Delta Airlines logo again displayed on all corners of all sides of the bus. So then moving on to the stair truck. Another thing I did notice between the vehicles is that kind of the stair truck and the catering truck have the Delta logo in the dark navy blue, kind of the color that the box is on the playset, and then the taxi and the bus have it in more of the royal lighter Delta blue, kind of like what the box is on the single plane. I just thought that was kind of cool. I'm not sure if they meant to do that or if that just how the print ended up turning out, but I thought that was pretty interesting, kind of represents both the playset and the single plane. So for the catering truck has the stair truck has the Delta Airlines logos displayed on the throughout the railing here on where the stairs go up, and then the Delta Airlines logo on all three main parts of the stair truck. Moving on to the last vehicle here, this is the catering truck. This one has the background here is in the really nice shiny silver coloring, and then the Delta Airlines logo displayed on the sides there. This one has more of a blue interior. I think some of them have different interiors. The most common interior is just for it to be basic white, but this one has a really nice light blue interior as well. You can kind of see it on the bottom as well, displayed there. Yeah, so overall, that is pretty much the entire review for this playset. Like I said before, I'm not going to take out the signs because they're the same exact signs that come in most of the other playsets, and honestly, it'll just make the video a little longer. There's really no need for me to review it because I've also reviewed it in the past, and they're included in a lot of the older playsets. But yeah, so that pretty much is all for the review of the Delta Airlines, the Realtoy Delta Airlines Landor Livery 767 Airport playset, and the history behind this model and the livery. So, thank you all so much for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe. Next week video, I'll be reviewing the next version of the Delta Airlines 767. That is the Colors in Motion Livery Airport playset. There are two different versions of that one, of the Delta Colors in Motion Wavy Gray. I think it has 3 different names to it, but I keep calling it either or. But yeah, so that will be the video I'll be posting next week. So thank you once again. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what your guys' opinions are on this model, because I definitely think it is a very underrated Daron model that should be a lot more well-known by collectors. So once again, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.